Hello Crafty Mavens, this is Megan and I am back again this month to show you how I incorporate project life into my layouts or into my albums. So this is an example of how I incorporate project life pocket pages, because I don't scrapbook the normal project life way, doing it week by week or month by month or anything like that. I like to supplement my albums with pocket page protectors because I take a ton of photos and there is no way at all that I would be happy if I didn't have all of my photos in my layouts. And okay, I say all of my photos, but I don't really mean all of my photos. So what I have decided to do, and I can kind of flip through this album a little bit. So I have a couple layouts and then I have a big spread of just project life pages and a little bit of journaling. And on a lot of my project life pocket pages, I do mainly just the photos and then just a little journaling. And then you can see I have normal 12 by 12 layouts. And then if I do happen to have another page in the album, then I do. Sometimes I have more 12 by 12 pages. Sometimes I have the same amount. I don't think I have a whole lot of albums that are just pocket pages because that's not where I started. My passion is for 12 by 12 scrapbooking, and I love pocket pages just for including all of those extra photos that I don't have room to make a separate layout for, or that has a smaller story but I still want to remember. So this is what I'm going to show you today, and I already, for some reason, I already put this page in here, and these albums are so hard to undo and then put back together. So I'm not even going to take this out and work just on this page. You're going to see me actually working in my album. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry. I just thought I would kind of give you a different idea of how you can incorporate pocket pages into a album. So if you are too overwhelmed with the idea of doing project lifestyle scrapbooking by the week or by the month or anything like that, just incorporate it. When you have an event, so this is my son's birthday. Got a little something on this that's gonna bother me. This is Brennan's birthday. This is at the time he was my youngest, he was 2. And then these 2 photos over here are photos on his birthday. We had some friends over, and so these are the 2 little girls of our friends, and so we were eating birthday cake together. So we are actually not really friends with these people anymore. So that's kind of why I didn't want to dedicate a whole layout just to these photos. I still do want to include all of the pictures, like the pictures on here. This is the same little girl. Like, I still want to include those pictures even though we're not really friends with them anymore, because they were a part of our life. And, you know, things just kind of change and happen and we grow up, right? So, I am going to put you on fast forward and get started. This week's, let's see, this week's inspiration piece will have been before I started talking, so you'll be able to see that. And I'm going to try to stick with mainly whites and blacks. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to do or where I'm going to get inspiration yet, so I am going to put you on fast forward. Thanks so much for watching.
Let's jump right in and get started. So here you can see I am going to be using some Project Life cards from the Cinnamon edition of Becky's, one of her older kits. I got those probably about 5-6 years ago, maybe not that long ago, maybe it was 4 years ago, at a Michael's store. And here I am going to use this cute little card. I'm going to cut it down quite a bit because I didn't want it to take up too much space on this photo, but there was a big white space in the middle of that photo. And you can see my son Jonas. He is off to the left eating breakfast, and then there is a toy sitting on the table, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's to the right of that card, and it is a little Wally toy, which my son Brennan had gotten the day before for his birthday. And I just thought this photo was so cute of Jonas eating breakfast with his brother's new Wally toy. He loved the toy so much, and it wasn't even his, that he decided he was going to eat breakfast with it. So I think I actually have this photo on a layout, but I'm going to stick it on this page anyway because I had 2 copies of it. So here I did pull out some Spiegel Mom scraps. These are some of her silver doilies that you can get in her shop. And I just thought it was cute. I don't know. I wanted to spice up this card just a little bit. I didn't want to embellish it too much because I did want the focus to be on my son and the fact that he's sitting at breakfast with a toy. So I just thought it was cute. Here I'm thinking I'm going to put some enamel dots on the card, but I think I actually, maybe I do end up doing it. Okay, so I do. So now here I'm going to put this card over there in the right hand pocket, and then I'm going to move on to, let's see which one I did next, because I don't honestly remember which one I did next. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to pull out this one. So this one is from my son Brennan's actual birthday. His birthday is in July, and we had invited some friends over to eat cake with us later that night after dinner. And I'm just going to keep this card simple. I'm just going to write yum yum on it with these alphas, and I don't remember who those are. Hang on real quick and I will grab them. It looks like they say Studio Calico on them. Yep, it's from Studio Calico, and they are just called alpha stickers, and there's 130 of them, and they are just white on a little sheet. Okay, so now here I'm just putting on some enamel dots, and then I'm going to stick that card back in there. It was giving me a little bit of trouble because it kind of, the end of it kind of sticks into the album itself. So that's why I had to lift up the whole page. Okay, so now here I am going to scrapbook this photo of our friend's daughter. She's just got food all over her, or cake all over her face, and just looked really cute. So I'm going to put that one on a 4x6 card from the collection. And then I'm going to put this So Fancy little wood button there. I think that's from Chamel's True Stories line. I think it might be from her last one. I don't remember. But so I'm just going to stick that on there. I was thinking maybe I should do some more embellishing, so I was off trying to find something to embellish with, but I decided I'm just going to do some journaling, and I'm going to keep it simple. I don't have the spread in front of me. Hang on. Okay, so that journaling I just wrote out, let's see, what did I write? Lainey and Libby loved Brennan's Wally cake. It was so fun hanging out with their family. And then I just put the date. Okay, so now I'm going to use this card, and I liked the happiness and then time flies part, but then I didn't realize that I had cut off the having fun. So the saying is time flies when you're having fun, right? So I cut off having fun and I didn't realize it. So what I'm going to do to remedy that, instead of just gluing the part that I cut off, because I did think about that I would cut it off or just glue it on underneath. You probably wouldn't have been able to tell, but since Jonas is in this photo and he's eating, I thought that I would put eating. So I cut off the middle of that silver doily, and I'm just going to put put down the word eating, so that it's going to be happiness, loving every minute, time flies when you're eating. And that just is really simple. And while I'm looking at this, the two photos are kind of bothering me because this one of Jonas is looking off the page. I mean, yeah, he's looking at me, but in a sense, the way he's sitting is making it feel like he's looking off the page. And then the one on the left side of Brennan, he's looking into the page. So I think I'm going to actually switch those two around. So you will see a difference in the photos that I show you at the end. So here I am tracing the alpha stickers because I just felt like they didn't stick out enough or stand out enough. So I'm just going to trace the word eating, and then I am going to put some enamel dots on this card, and then that one is done. And this is how I like to do my project life scrapbooking. I just like to keep it super, super simple. Sometimes I do a lot of embellishing, but a lot of times I don't, because these are really old pictures and I kind of just want to get them scrapbooked. So it's more fun for me, I guess, to keep the cards simple, because if I spend too much time thinking about a card, it's gonna stress me out and take even more time. So, okay, so now here on this card of Brennan, I'm just gonna write to Keto Love, and then put on some enamel dots, and that card is going to be done. This was a favorite lunch of theirs. I think this time when we're doing this, I didn't even put a date on these photos. I think it's the end of July, maybe the beginning of August. And this was the first time that I had ever had them try taquitos. I used to buy them all the time for myself to eat for lunches. I don't anymore, actually. I don't know why. I just stopped. Probably because they're not that amazing when you buy them frozen, because I would just buy the frozen kinds. And so this day, I thought it would be fun to have them try them, and they loved them. So that was kind of a fun new thing that they could eat for lunch. I apologize if you can hear my dog. He's in here with me because he can't ever leave me alone, and he's chewing on a really loud bone, of course. Okay, so now I'm going to put that photo in the pocket, and I am going to move on to the very last pocket, which is down there in the bottom left-hand corner. This one I'm also going to keep pretty simple. I'm just going to pull out one of these cards, and I'm going to cut down the photo because I did want to do just a little tiny bit of journaling right next to the photo and a little bit of embellishing. So here I'm going to glue that down. And I think it's actually sticking off of the card a little bit, so I probably need to go and trim it, but oh well. So here you can see I'm just writing my journaling, and it says, "They love brushing the goats." Just kept it super, super simple, and I'm going to put a little bit of this, this doily. I don't know why I keep having a hard time remembering the word doily. I'm going to put that there in the bottom left-hand corner, and then I'm going to cut it off, and I'm also going to put one of those wood buttons down there in that corner as well, and that card is done. So we are going to move on to the other side of this Pocket Life page, and this one is going to be even more simple than the first one. So I have these two photos of me playing with my boys, and then I also have those two photos on the bottom of Brennan. And so for this one, I am going up at the top, I'm just going to do a little title, and it's going to say Little Gamers. And I don't often play games with my kids, but this day my husband had, or my boys had asked me or something. I don't remember, because honestly this was 2008, so this was like, what, that's 10, almost 10 years ago, 8 years ago. I don't remember, you guys. I can't do math. Anyway, so my kids had asked me to play with them is what I'm thinking, and so I said, okay, I'll play with you. And so these are just a couple of photos. I do have a layout of photos to go along with these pictures as well. So I think, I'm not sure, but the page to the right is blank. I think I might have a layout to go there to go with the photos. Okay, so now I am just going to glue some more of this doily on there, and I am going to mess this card up, and I'm gonna fix it. I don't know if I like it really that much, but oh well, I fix it and it works out. Okay, so now I'm moving on to this bottom photo of Brennan, and I just love these photos of Brennan. I think they are so cute and so hilarious. One day, or he had been walking around with this empty prescription bottle. I don't know for how long, but maybe a day, maybe 2 days, something like that. And one morning he decided he wanted to eat his breakfast out of it. So he put some Cheerios in there and wanted me to, I don't know if he actually had me pour milk into it or if he just had dry Cheerios in there. I honestly don't remember. But he couldn't fit his... he couldn't fit a spoon in there, and so he ended up having to just dump the Cheerios into his mouth, and I just thought those photos were so cute. Okay, so now here I'm thinking that I was going to use the white ink pad to do the stamping of the date, but I really don't like that white ink pad, so I am just going to do black, even though it kind of does blend in. It doesn't bother me. It's okay. So I stamp the date on there, and then I'm going to do the journaling, which just says, Silly Brinny wanted to eat his Honey Nut Cheerios out of an old pill bottle. His spoon was too big, but he figured out a way to eat it anyway. I just said way twice. Yeah, that's smart writing there. Smart journaling, right? Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then that card is going to be done. I did add 2 enamel dots to the left side of that card, right where the date was, and that is it. I'm really sorry. I hope that you can't hear my dog, but if I take his bone away from me, he will be so mad. It'll probably be worse than listening to it, so I just hope you can't hear it. Okay, so I decided to add a little bit more of that doily to the top, and then I'm going to, after I cut this off, I am going to try to stamp the date or something. I don't remember if I stamped the date or if I just stamp a phrase. I think I stamped the date, and it does not work. Okay, so here you can see I'm stamping the date, and I totally smudge it. And I was like, I'm just gonna go with it. I just was like, I don't care, I smudged it, whatever. But then I'm gonna just sit there and look at it. No, I can't do this. So I pull off this little button, and then I'm going to try to cover it up with enamel dots, but that just doesn't look right. I think about adding the doily, and I don't like it at all. It's just not working. So I'm totally stressing out because I'm like, oh great, I totally ruined this picture, this card, and I didn't want to reprint it. I don't even know where this photo is saved at because it's so old. So here I pull out some of these enamel hearts from Studio Calico. That didn't work. And then I find this Project Life card, and it looked pretty cute. So I'm going to cut it up into a banner shape, and that actually does work. So yay for banners. Oh my goodness, Max. I am so sorry about my dog. Now he's found another toy, and it seems just as loud, so I really hope you can't hear it. Okay. So now here I just glue down that banner, and that card is done. And here, oh, I do add a enamel heart to that card, and then I put it away. Now I am going to move on to the title card for this spread, and I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm just going to find a Project Life card that I like. So I'm going to pull out some of the 4x6s, and kind of flip through them and figure out which one I want to use. I like that bird one. I like the ones that have the little tabs so that you can put a title on it. But I really wanted the colors to match on the cards, and I had picked out that one to the right, and I really liked that one and was thinking about doing the journaling on that one. So I was trying to find colors that matched with that. I decided to change up that card on the right eventually, and I don't actually do the journaling on the video, so you'll see that. You might see it in the photos, you might not. But here I'm just trying to clean up a little bit, and then I'm going to pull out a couple different alphas to do a cute little title. Just going to keep it simple, and I am going to go with, let's see, I think I pull them out right here. I'm going through them. I had these that I got from Click Kits quite a few years ago. I think those were 2015, maybe. I'm trying to spell out the word normal life. I don't have an O though, so I use the inside of the O, but that's the only letter that really doesn't have an actual letter. And I don't think this alpha had any zero or any numbers on it, so I didn't have a zero that I could make into an O. So I'm just going to kind of set it there. I didn't have a capital L, so I kind of have to jimmy rig one out of an I. I do like the word life in that alpha, but I am going to pick a different alpha for the word normal, which is totally fine with me. I actually like it better with the alpha that I decide to go with instead. At first I'm thinking maybe I could just do life, and then I say no, that just looks kind of weird having just the word life up there. So I pull out these, I think they're Evilicious, I don't know, something like that. And they are kind of like a gray puffy sticker. So I pull those out, and the gray was a little too matchy. So I am going to just ink them with my Stays On ink. I think that's, yeah, see, I pull out my Stays On ink, and I'm just going to ink each one as I put it down on the card. And that is all that I do with that card. I'm not going to embellish it anymore. I'm not going to put a date because both of these groupings of photos are 2 different dates, and I think they're quite a ways away from each other, so I'm just not even going to do a date, which totally works for me. I'm kind of getting to the point in my scrapbooking where I don't really care about it being chronological as much as I used to. Okay, so that is the end of this Project Life little video for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. I know it's not the norm for Project Life, but this is just a different way that you can incorporate pocket pages into your regular scrapbooking. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again next month. Bye!